Hello, everybody, and welcome to something a little bit different for One at a Time, lads. I'm your host, Zach. I'm joined by Stefan. Say hi,
Hello.
Stefan. And we are going to be doing commentary, team stream style, on I think he called it the Quarren stream that Alex Bots and Jacob Frelinger played a few days ago, a week ago. We'll see how quick I post this. But they played a game, and Nate was kind enough to post this on his YouTube channel, Impart Wisdom, if you want to go see the original playback. But we figured there is a pretty big dearth of large streamed events, and I don't know, this would be fun. We're all stuck inside because there's a plague outside. So let's get started. Looks like they are playing butchers against farmers.
Ooh, nope. Union.
So Union. Oh, whoops. Duh. I can't read. I
Words
looked
are
at the
hard.
title earlier and thought, oh yeah, they're both playing kind of their usual guilds. Alright. So do you have a whole lot of experience either with or against these teams?
With or against what?
These two teams, Union and Farmers.
Farmers, yes. Union, we don't really have a Union player in our meta. I played against one of our guys who played V Greed once or twice. To get a little bit of experience with that.
Okay, cool. I've played a lot of Union in the past. Only really a handful of games with Greed so far. But yeah, one of our players kind of dabbles with Farmers, but they're one of the teams I've probably played. I've played them among the least.
Uh,
I've played every guild at least one game except for Butchers and Shepherds now.
yeah. I I've played I main hunters. That's pretty much who I play anytime I play competitively. I'm picking up Masons. I've played a couple games with them. I kind of like them. But
Okay.
our meta's relatively small.
Yeah.
When we started, we had like 9 people. Now we lost a bunch of them because we basically just did a season at Troy's house. That's what we did. We didn't even use clocks or terrain. But
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah,
led to
this
some
game
like
does
four
not
hour
work without
games.
terrain. Yeah. Like,
Um,
without clocks, you can do it, but without terrain, I think this game is actively bad without terrain.
yeah, it wasn't awful, but it's not the same at all. And we've
Yeah.
gotten a couple of the guys that were in that original season back into it. Our meta's up to like 6 now. Um, but the nice part about being in Wisconsin is we have 3 very active metas relatively close to each other. So
Yeah,
while
I keep
we
seeing
might
you
only
guys are
have
running a
six,
bunch of events.
yeah, we only have 6, but there's like 30 something players in the state, and we all get together like once a month.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Texas does not have that at all.
It was funny. I
We
actually went down to Oklahoma City in July, and I was looking for Guild Ball metas down there to see if I could get a game in against somebody that I've never played before, and
Yeah.
couldn't find anything in Oklahoma.
Well, people don't really live there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No, I actually last July was around when I moved to Texas. I was in New England before that, and we had kind of the same thing you've got now, where we had a couple months where there were like 3 16-man events within 2 hours every month.
Nice.
Yeah. So those were good times, and I mean, Guild Ball has kind of dropped a lot everywhere since then.
Yeah, it's it's interesting because what we're seeing in Wisconsin and the Midwest in general is like the opposite of what globally is happening in the game.
Yeah, you guys are having a big boom right now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, Bots even mentioned once, like, because Pat came up for a tournament, and Pat and Zach Gray were telling him like, yeah, like it's a pretty big scene up there, and Bots was like, well, where were you guys a year and a half ago? Thanks, man.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like they're actually starting to get started and get models out.
Yep.
We should mention you have watched this game through already. I have not.
I
So
watched and took notes.
okay, so you're prepared, and I'm going to completely wing it through this, and we'll see how well my predictions and armchair coaching actually match up with what happens.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so I am curious what his 12 looks like because since Greed came out, I've been having a pretty hard time with my Union 12, and I think I actually settled on dropping Coin out of it, which he's got in. I don't see Hemlock in there now. Yeah, so I think my 12 has Coin but no Hemlock, which also feels really bad because usually the matchups I want to play one, I want to play them both.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't know. I'm not really playing them competitively right now, so I haven't had to think about it too much.
yeah. From my experience from talking to people about Union, especially with V Greed, is you kind of bring V Greed for everything, and then you just grab something for your niche matchups. Is what it sounds like.
I think you still play Rage if you're receiving into almost every matchup. Greed isn't quite great at receiving. Plus, God, Rage receiving against Steeljaw with Benediction and Hemlock has made our local hunters player really mad. A lot. Just go last with Hemlock every turn. Just stay bunched up. Remove all of the conditions you put out. Benny heals everyone at the beginning of the turn.
Oh, that is
It's
awful.
great. I
No,
love it.
as a Steeljaw player, we're not friends anymore.
It's okay. It's been a few weeks at least since I put Union on the table. I'm back to Engineers. They're my first love, and at least until the errata comes out, nothing
Yeah,
is really exciting me. I need one more guild to get the multi-guild master badge, but just nothing's really exciting me now.
gotcha.
Although Shepherds look super cool. I've played a proxy game against them the other day, and they're a super interesting team. Let's see,
It's
it doesn't...
yeah. We have our local one of our local guys, Troy, is like that. It feels like that guild was purpose built for him.
In what way?
It's his play style is very uh, positional and fluid. He very easily moves from the 2-2 to the 3-0 to the 4-1, and
Gotcha.
Shepherds really feels
I...
like the guild to do that.
So, Engineers is the guild to do that. I'll say this. Engineers are the most flexible guild in the game. I think Shepherds are actually going to have a pretty hard time with 3-0. I think they're going to flex 2-2 and 1-4 very easily, but that is not a team I see going 3-0 against the vast majority of teams.
All right, fair enough.
They don't have the lack of momentous dodges outside of Herder. I think really hurts that. Like they're good at scoring, but they're not that good. They're too good.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm
that's
a
fair.
little I'm a little sad that Jacob's not going to be proxying any of them because I think Shearer I think is going to be a lot better in Farmers than Shepherds, but he's also not playing Festival. He's known to play a very defensive Grange game.
Yeah, he very much plays the standoff in this game.
Yeah, I remember he was telling that story on Discord from WTC this year about the like 20 something turn game with Grange against Order.
Oh, oh, that was
Right?
awful.
Oh my god.
No.
All right, so Bots won the roll and chose to kick, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So he's kicking. And that makes sense. Well,
Yep.
yeah, that makes sense. I would rather kick with greed into either captain then receive with rage against Thresher.
Yeah.
The Thresher kickoff is really strong, and Union don't have great tools to shut it down. I mean, Hemlock blinding him is good, but
Well,
not amazing.
the other nice thing that I've noticed with models like Thresher that do massive amounts of damage, but to multiple models, not so much as the like high damage output to individual models. Like a V greed team against that is really good because you have one fewer model for him to get momentum and VPs off of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But I think both of them kind of knew that if Jacob was receiving, he was going to play Grange.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, hell, he might have even played Grange kicking. All
Yeah.
right, so let's see. We should note that this stream was from Bots's side, so we can see his plot cards. We can't see Jacob's.
I can tell you what Jacobs are if you would
Yeah,
like to
sure,
know.
why not? Let's do it. Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Jacob drew the 5 that he keeps are risky play, lock them down, pass out the orange slices, give me 110%, and pick up the pace. I don't know what he discarded.
And what was that last one?
Pick up the pace.
Okay, pick up the pace. So yeah, okay, so that's a good mix of numbers. Yeah, see over here on...
Yeah, at the end of the video, he revealed all of his cards.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we got a mostly low numbers over here, but Union are a high momentum team, so they can get away with that pretty often.
Yeah, they can. I know that like break out the knives in this team is scary. It is very scary.
Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, it's gross. Their squaddies are doing the majority of
And
the
if you're
work.
playing against a Grange player who's going to be on his half of the pitch as much as he can, aggressive defense is a very powerful card as well. Being able to get those free counterattacks from darn near everybody on your team is good.
Yeah, I think it's less valuable against farmers just because you're predominantly 1-inch melee and they're almost all 2. That would, I think, give me pause taking that into Union, but the extra influence is always nice, and at least it's not like a negative for your team. Alright, we had some technical difficulties there. Hopefully this matches up there. Okay, so... Yeah, I think the greed, at least, yeah, those first 2 picks are pretty locked in. Although I don't necessarily love Rage into a 2-inch melee team like this. I think you still need him, if only for tooled up. Because Grange is going to have so much tough hide to chew through.
Seeing Bushel, I was surprised at also. However, I realized after the fact that he didn't have Amber in his 12. And I know a lot of people don't like Amber. I kind of like Amber.
I don't like Amber.
I kind of like Amber, just for her flexibility.
Yeah, I think Bushel is great on the receive as a piece to just move people around with the ball. Mm-hmm. Just a pass in and I'm open. Just 8 inches of dodge.
Mm-hmm.
I saw... I've seen that done to pretty great effect. And it's pretty nasty. Okay, and Grace there, that's the last pick. That feels right. This really feels like the standard Vet Greed 5.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I had the game that I played live against Vet Greed with my buddy. He brought Mist, and Mist scored a turn 1 goal and then did nothing the rest of the game, as you would expect.
Yeah. I've liked Mist into like other teams that want to play with the ball. I've tried Mist into Alchemists, and that ended up not feeling too great just because Alchemists are alchemists. Yeah, you know. But otherwise, like, I think there's teams where Mist feels good. I'm just not 100% sure where they are.
Yeah. And now, after the fact, talking with him about it, I prefer Grace into this lineup for a couple of reasons. Number one is if you can get a turn 1 goal with her, or at least an early goal with her, After that, you don't have to put any influence on her, and you can max out your team for the rest of the game. And the second reason is because even if you have to sacrifice that person to be able to get those four VPs, them
Hmm.
taking out Grace is your best option. She comes back in quickly, and she can do ranged heals for free, just to keep
See,
everybody alive.
that's so funny because in general, I think of myself as a pretty aggressive player, but my Grace almost never crosses the deployment line. She just hangs back and throws out character plays and will hold the ball and pass it if need be, but I never send Grace upfield.
See, and he's fine with that because even if you
Yeah.
don't kill her, then when your scrum moves up, then they have the ability to heal right there. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Her ability to like arc node the character plays
Hmm.
is really nice for helping keep her safe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially being able to put stuff out at range as if she was there is
Yeah.
it's stupid.
Yeah, there's a lot stupid about the current Union team.
Yeah.
Just like no team needs to be able to move that fast for that little influence.
Yeah. And they're
And
everywhere. They're everywhere. They're Visa. You know. I may
that's a
be
good
excessive.
kickoff. That's a really good kickoff.
Yeah.
That's like the best kickoff you could ask for. Because who's that between Windle and Bushel? Is that Plowman?
Yes, that is Plowman.
Yeah, that's Plowman. Ugh. Yeah, he's got no harvest markers out for an early open, so if he wants to do that, he's spending the influence on it
Yeah.
to dodge back, and then yeah, that's not a great start.
Yeah.
But I think if Bushel is a good Bushel is a good model to deal with that. It's just super inefficient for her to do it and get back to relative safety.
Yeah. Her whole concept of being able to eat a harvest marker to do a character play, like without being able to do that just to get the ball back at a minimum, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, yeah, if she wants to really do anything, she'd have to sprint, pay one to pass, pay two to open.
Hmm.
Then she could dodge back and maybe drop the ball to keep it live, depending on where she ends up. But ideally, you only want to dodge off one of those to save momentum.
I know where she ends up. Uh, it's interesting. This game was very interesting to watch.
I'm almost wondering if he wouldn't just like. No, I mean, he wouldn't just leave it there. Because although yeah, if it wasn't greed, because I'd say you don't want to waste Minx's activation just going and getting the ball, but it's greed, so she could always just go again later.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So he ends up with
Yeah, well,
the four on Bushel, uh, two on Grange, one on Tater, two on Plowman, one on Windle, and nothing on, or one on the donkey.
alright, he's gonna try to stand off super hard turn one then, which. We'll see. I mean, Jacob's smart enough to know that that really doesn't work that well against greed.
For Union, Minx gets four, Rage gets one, Fangers gets three, V-Greed gets three, and Grace gets two.
Yeah. God, being able to just slingshot Fangtooth all the way across the board is ridiculous. Just saying Fangtooth jogs 10 inches
Yep.
is
Jogs
really
10
funny.
inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Alright.
makes things very interesting. Yeah,
So, yeah,
here
I mean, I
she's gonna
think
step up,
if.
snap the ball, and then do the scariest pass of her life.
Yeah, so is that for. Grange's R is 4 inches, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's. It's a lot of long kicks. So I guess maybe you dodge off of this one, get into the aura, then I'm open and hopefully just save that momentum and then drop the ball to keep it live. That's I think what I would do.
I well, we'll find out what happens in a second.
Oh no, taking that extra dodge. I guess to be fair, that's pretty safe. You know Minx isn't coming in on the first activation.
No,
Yeah,
the
you're gonna want to buffer and
mhm,
do all that. He's got time to build some more momentum.
mhm. If he dropped it,
Still rough to have to blow 4 influence on that.
if he dropped it,
Yeah.
he didn't drop it. He left the ball in bushel.
Oh, did he? Okay,
He
the ball
did.
was yeah, it's sitting on Grange over there.
Yeah,
I
he
was
just hasn't
confused.
moved the icon back yet.
Oh, okay. That's a choice.
It's it happens. I don't know if he
Yeah,
forgot or if his intention was to try to kill the ball on bushel as long as he could for turn two. But
maybe, but I mean, I wouldn't even really worry so much about killing the ball at this instance. I'd be worried just about
mhm,
not generating momentum.
mhm.
That feels rough.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
right now they're talking about the fact that there is no forward minions token on Vassal.
Yeah.
So
Seems easily solved.
yeah. Well, it's
The
funny because they're both relatively new at Vassal. So as soon as bots mentioned that, I was like, oh, just grab like a random token and change the name. And then he was like,
Do you
oh,
play
hey,
much on Vassal?
yeah, I do. I do. I
Okay.
play it a bit. Not as much
I
as I'd like to. 4 kids. That'll happen.
that'll do it, man. Yeah.
But
I I don't know. I can't get into Vassal. I used to play a lot of X-Wing on Vassal. That was super easy because you would just hit a button and it would do the like template movement, which was nice. But for whatever reason, I can't really get into Guild Ball Vassal.
see, and I went into a X-wing server once and watched
Yeah,
just part of a game. I was
yeah.
so confused.
Well, when was this?
Oh, this would have been 8 months ago.
I didn't even know people still played that game.
There was like
I stopped playing X-Wing like right after I started playing Guild Ball.
yeah, there was like 3 open rooms I think, and I just jumped in one
Yeah.
and had no idea what was going
It's yeah, okay, now Bushel has the ball.
on. Hmm.
Ooh. Those big fancy R's are pretty nice.
Yeah, yeah, I think that you and Troy would get along very well because he doesn't like Vassal either.
Yeah, I don't know. It just like it's the hanging out with people that really attracts me to tabletop games
Hmm.
in a lot of ways, and I just feel like I can't get the same thing out of Vassal as I would otherwise.
Yeah,
So, well, I don't know. We'll see how long this coronavirus thing lasts because we've already canceled our weekly game night on Wednesday. I've had to cancel a tournament for this that was supposed to be this Sunday. And if it goes too long without me being able to get any games in, I'm gonna start going stir crazy.
yeah, yeah. We had a tournament scheduled for to be in Oshkosh on the 21st on Saturday, and
Yeah,
I messaged the owner of the game store and was like, "I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to make it."
yeah,
The good news is that uh, one of our players has a really nice house, and it's he and his wife. They're dinks,
okay,
so
okay,
they're like, "Come over. We have a ton of tables. Just bring your mats." So we're gonna have as many people over there as we can. It looks like it was up to like 12 people. Now it looks like we're gonna have maybe 5 or 6, but
yeah.
it'll be 5 or 6 people enjoying each
Oh, I'm
other.
glad you guys are still playing. I'd be nervous just about the number of people. I don't know.
Uh, uh, I all week long it's going to be me at this table doing my work, with a 7-year-old on my other computer over there doing schoolwork, and then a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old on iPads doing schoolwork, all at the table
Yeah, I
with
gotta
me.
stay sane.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by people constantly. I'm
Yeah.
find ways to
Alright,
keep
so let's see. Grace is making Greed and Minx go fast. Grange
busy.
put up his Tough Hide aura and the extra crowd out on Bushel, I think, and just kind of moved to protect her.
Yeah,
While we were talking, it looks like that. Just kind of setting up a little bunker around her.
yeah, and I can see why he's doing it because of the threat ranges of everybody trying to keep Bushel as protected as possible. My
Yeah,
my
I mean,
concern is with where he put Grange. Bushel has it reduces her mobility out of that area when she's ready to move.
that's true. Depending on where Buckwheat ends up, I mean, she could always, like, pass and dodge around that obstruction, like, around the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think he's really going to be setting up for a goal.
See, and I
But who
I'm
knows?
constantly concerned about people setting up for goals. So that would be my looking at this. That would be my perspective.
Me too, but yeah, it's just kind of knowing how different people play, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the farmers are annoying. Even with Broken Earth, though,
As a hunters
Minx
player,
can
I
reach
love I
anywhere.
love it. Spend the influence. I have literally everybody who's light footed.
Not Cena.
No, no, not the bear.
Yeah, not the one you need it on.
Yeah. Buddy of mine and I played a game where we he took farmers, I took hunters. We played models that we never play, so I didn't bring the bear.
Yeah,
I brought like Chaska and Zerola and Ulfer.
how'd that work out?
Uh I lost like 12-8, but that's because he took farmers players he never takes. So he took like Vet
Yeah,
Honor and just people he never takes. And
right.
it made for a very interesting matchup. But when he took Plowman, I was like, I'm a little more excited about this now.
Chaska is still really good. I don't see a lot of Chaska these days.
Yeah. That's the thing with Chaska is you have to have O'Hearn, V-Minx, or Theron with him.
Yeah,
You
you
have to.
definitely need a blessing.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Fangtooth is tooled up.
Yep.
That's always the big decision point turn one is do you tool up Fangtooth or do you tool up Minx? And I guess he's thinking that he's going to be able to get off some sick unmaskings.
Yeah, when he moves Plowman up that far, you kind of are
Yeah,
excited about seeing that, you know.
yeah. Plowman has armor, though.
Oh no. He's still a
Yeah, I mean,
target.
it's a farmer's team.
Hmm.
What's that all about?
Yeah, is it like the sickle? The sickle is his armor. That's what it is. Or the
No,
shovel
it's
on
the
his back.
abs. Let's see. Whose activation is it right now?
Alright.
It's Jacob's, right?
So he just moved rage.
Yeah, bots just moved Rage. So yeah, it's gotta be Jacob's
Okay,
activation. Okay.
so Tater's going afterward.
Yeah, he's gotta move. He's gotta make sure Tater is covering everyone with counter. Although Tater really is covering everyone with counter charge now.
Yeah.
At least I think it's hard for me to judge distances just looking on Vassal.
Spoiler alert. Tater's gonna sprint like a half an inch, leaving enough room for a window between himself and Plowman. That's what he's gonna do.
That makes sense.
Hmm. Sorry for all of you who were worried about Alex Bots and Michael spoilers.
Who's Michael?
I thought, what's his opponent's name again?
Oh, Jacob.
Jacob. I knew that there was a hard K sound. After that, I was out. Sorry, Jacob. I'm a Midwesterner.
Yeah.
That's who I know.
Yeah. I'm bummed I'm not gonna be able to make it out to make it rain this year.
Yeah.
Tournament up in Seattle that Jacob runs. It's well, I don't know if anyone's gonna be traveling for anything, but it's the week after I run Bowls Open down here in Austin,
Mm,
and I've only got so much travel time.
yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I got to go to Second Wind last year. That's pretty much the only tournament I get to go to outside of state.
Second win was a blast. I'm planning on going again if there is one. I've got some budget allocated for that
Yeah.
because
Well,
that was
you
really
really do
fun.
have to. You do have to allocate budget. We are going to NATC though. I don't know if you're going to that.
Yeah, well, I'm signed up. It depends what the deal is with flights and everything in
Yeah.
July.
Okay.
But no, I'm gonna be assuming that I'm able to get there. I'm gonna be there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then it'll be nice to see you in person.
Absolutely. We probably crossed paths at Second Wind. Didn't realize it.
Probably. I was the aggressively outgoing guy with the Wisconsin accent.
I feel like that describes a couple people.
Yeah, probably. But no, Second Wind was actually a really good learning opportunity for me. I got to meet a bunch of people, interact with people that I never would have normally, and really grow in the game. I'm very grateful for all the work that those guys put in for it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best thing about just like big events in this community and everything. It's just meeting people. It's making friends in different places. It's learning play styles that you've never seen before. It's
Hmm.
just hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, at the last tournament I went to was one that Max put on down in Milwaukee. And
Okay.
I got to play against Pat and Johnny Pastrami.
Nice.
And I lost. Those were my only two losses of the day, but I count my win against Johnny. I count my loss against Johnny as a win because I got to make him go. And I count my loss against Pat as a win because I got Pat to say, I've never seen Steeljaw do something like that before. I felt pretty good about
I've
that.
Yeah, I'd say that's a win.
Yeah.
I've somehow managed to dodge Pat despite like of all the Chicago people, him and or he's the one that I think we have been at the most of the same tournaments, and he's the only one of them I haven't played against.
Really?
Yeah. Johnny I played at the last SteamCon US. It's still season 3 at that point
Hmm.
because it was the LCQ, and I was playing Rage against his season 3 Scalpel,
Oh.
and it was the closest game. He took it at the very end, and after the game, he just walked around the table and gave me this giant bear hug.
As Johnny does.
Yeah.
So here
All
he
right.
moved Wendell. He jogged him around behind Tater there, and he specifically declares that he goes base with Tater, which is a tactic that I had never thought of before, because 1 inch melees are going to have a hard time with crowdouts on the other side with that. So that was something that I, as a relatively new player, I mean, I've been playing since season 2, but I've been playing competitively for about the last year. So as a relatively new player, I thought that that was an interesting strategy.
Yeah, it's definitely a good move, and I mean, you've got to hide Windle from Fangtooth.
Hmm.
That's the biggest thing because Fangtooth will just unmasking for days,
Yeah,
and especially tooled up, that'll devastate a farmer's team.
yeah.
All right, so let's see. It looks like measuring for minks to come in.
Yeah.
Probably, probably hoping to. I don't know. Maybe hoping to get on one of her hits some damage mark target off on Windle, be able to charge Fangtooth in, and because I mean, if he plays his cards right, he could set up to kill both Tater and Windle at the start of turn 2,
Yeah.
and that could be pretty devastating.
Yeah. Um. From where he's at, Fangtooth with Quickfoot and forward minions already on him has the
Yeah.
distance to get into Tater. Um. with his heroic and a glide.
But can he get into Windle? He might need the marked target for that.
Yes, he would need the marked target to be able to get into Windle,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he would have line of sight. I mean, at that point, you'd rather charge than sprint and attack, right? Or would you disagree with me on that?
If I'm going into Windle, I'm definitely going to charge, because I'm pretty much guaranteed to wrap. Plus, again, if you need the marked target to get there, then you have to. But I would certainly rather... I think I would rather charge into Windle than jog into Tater, personally.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you're pretty likely to wrap for the double unmasking on that, even crowded out by Tater there. And if you have him to beat up on and just get off that many unmaskings, I don't know. I think I would try for the top of two double kill there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I don't know.
Let's see
All
what
right, is
happens.
Minx actually there?
Minx,
Did he just roll an attack?
he has not rolled an attack yet.
Okay.
Minx, and I can tell you
I heard
that
it.
because Minx charges.
Okay.
Minx charges
Because
Tater.
I heard him say these dice, but he must have just been talking about the math of
Yeah.
gang ups and all this.
Yeah. So your line of thinking then would be charge into Tater, do some stuff, dodge out of Plowman, hopefully, do some stuff into Tater, mark target Windle, and then back to the shadows the F out of there.
Yeah, with Minx, I don't know if I would have charged Tater. I might have just walked and attacked either Plowman or Tater or something. But either one of those, I think, works. Yeah, my talking about charging, I was really just talking about Fangtooth, specifically Fangtooth into Windle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't taking into account the tough hide aura when I was thinking about all that. That is certainly a big difference.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing. Every time that I've ever played against range, I've never, and this is partially the relative new players that we have. Um, I've, I think I've seen the Constitution aura go up twice total.
Oh, that feels like the whole reason to play Grange.
And see, that's the thing is most of our players play him for the football support rather than for the fight support and the scrum support. And so being able to watch games
Interesting.
like this is actually really interesting because because then you can actually look at it and go, oh, okay, that makes significantly more sense.
Yeah. All of our farmers players are just playing Festival now.
Yeah.
Festival is Festival's neat. And I'm a little bit scared of what she'll do with Shearer, but I don't know. Oh, let's see. So he did not mark. Okay, he
Correct.
didn't put mark target on Windle, so I guess he's gonna just be going into Tater, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and then there is a math result. Box does a math result. That's in effect. But we'll get to there.
Okay.
It
I mean, if I'm Jacob at this point, I wonder if I don't sprint buckwheat in between Bushel and that harvest marker and stand in front of Tater and just kind of block that.
Well, not only would that block that, but uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but help them out. Does that also work on mascots?
That's a good question. Help him out's the tough hide aura, right?
No, help them out is the crowd outs suffer an additional one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the name of that. Let's see. Friendly models gain close ranks. Yep.
So okay, so that would be another good reason to bring them over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is he going to do that? Because, yeah, if he does, I think that pretty well stops Fangtooth from getting the most out of his activation.
The other thing that concerned me with putting Plowman up that far is on your team, you only have two people who can actually lay harvest markers.
Yeah.
That
And you're thinking there's a potential of losing them both at
well,
once?
either both at once or even if you lose one, out of the four harvest markers that you can grab, you now only have two. And
Yeah.
he did move Buckwheat over by the obstruction on the other side.
Yeah. I wonder also if putting Plowman that far up was also just to take advantage of his potential for a knockdown parting blow.
Yes. The problem is that the only two that were going to actually engage him were going to be Fangtooth with Resilience, who straight don't care, and Minx with Dodges for Days, who also straight don't care.
Yeah, I'm thinking for next turn.
Oh,
I don't know.
well, we're hoping he lives to next turn.
Yeah, that's true. This is gonna be nasty. This is going to be a snared tater.
Yeah, a snared tater suffering no crowd outs. Yeah.
Oh. No, looks like at least one crowd out, right?
Nope. They zoom in and measure it, and he is within one
Oh
of
yeah,
Tater
you're right.
barely,
You're right.
and just outside the butt crack of Plowman and Windle's auras.
Yeah, see the seeing all these overlapping auras on Vassal confuses me sometimes.
That's one thing that I hate about Vassal is playing against people who don't clean up their auras. Like at the
Well, it seems like all these right now are necessary.
oh, and that's the thing is as soon as my turn is done, I clear all of the auras with the exception of things like Broken Earth, Help them out, those kinds of things. All of the measurements that I did, I clear them out. On your turn, you put
Yeah.
up whatever measurements you want. But on my
Yeah.
turn, I want a clean field.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It looks like all these. It's all the melee ranges. It's the unmasking range. It's kind of all those relevant numbers. Okay, so I guess he's just trying to get in there and not take any part. I don't know why you'd be worried about a parting blow. There's no momentum for.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he just realized that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Bots literally just realized that he was measuring it out to get around Plowman and he doesn't have to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Jacob had any momentum to also make a counterattack, I'd certainly be worried about that
Yeah.
and want resilience still up so you didn't have to spend one of those influence on a knockdown, but
Yeah. So
since you
he
don't,
gets 4 results here.
breaks resilience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear him say it, but I'm sure Fangtooth unmasked, or not unmasked,
No, and
the other thing,
and that's
unleashed.
The first one he gets 2 results into Tater.
Okay, he does take the knockdown first, so really
Yep.
just setting it up for next turn.
3
Yeah,
results.
with 2 results, yeah, that's all you're doing.
Yep.
That is a shame. Missing the unmasking twice really hurts.
He misses it.
Shouldn't that be 4 damage
That's
if he
exactly the math.
did the heroic?
That's exactly
Yeah,
the math. He
okay.
forgot about Tooled Up.
Okay.
So he forgets about it twice, though. Because he
Ooh.
doesn't hit any unmasking.
Yeah, that is rough.
Yeah. So he ends up doing. They mark 4 damage to Tater, but it should have been 6. Yeah, because bots
Yeah.
bots forgot about.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah.
Rough stuff. Jeez, that is a brutal. Because, yeah, theoretically, I mean, Unleashed gives the +1 damage to character plays also, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So that'd be 5. Theoretically, that should be at least 10 damage on all 3 of those.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Which
instead
it's
yeah.
6, but marked as 4 damage to Tater. Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
knocked down, at least, which is good. But
He is knocked down at least, and still snared, so you can try again
yeah.
and hitting for 2s, but of course, your first attack is not going to have Unleashed, and your second 2 are not going to have, and none of them are going to have Tooled Up.
Mm-hmm.
But just being able to push Windle all the way back might be kind of useful.
Mm-hmm.
On that last one, just throwing him out to the edge of 3 on the first one, and then just blast him away on the last one, 4 inches.
So, knowing... Well, they're about to reveal. Never mind.
Alright, yeah, so that's going to be a locked down Fangtooth, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And this is one of the things, watching it the first time, that I saw and I went, oh, he can use Cool Head for his heroic.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think of
Yeah,
that.
and I actually called that one, but I called it into an empty room. I screamed into the void.
The Void's the best thing to scream into.
Well, and it was the perfect card because he was up by 5 momentum, and it's a +3
Right.
card, so you're guaranteed
Right.
to go first, and you can do your heroic. I was like, pat myself on the back for that one.
Cool Head is one of my favorite cards in the deck.
Yeah.
It's just so useful so often.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's not like Play It to the Crowd, where it specifies what you get to use, and that versatility makes
Right.
it so nice.
Right. I mean, sometimes just being able to bonus time an attack right off the bat
Oh yeah.
is just key.
Yeah, especially I watched a game between Max and one of our locals, Troy, where it was a heart of the cards moment for the two of them for last turn, where one of them played the card for +1 tack and the other one played the card for -1 tack, and it was heart of the cards for both of them. It was perfect. So for this one, Fangers gets 3, Minx gets 3, Rage gets 1, and V-Greed gets 6 because he likes to charge. The Farmers eat 1 Harvest Marker, Granny gets 6, Plowman gets 3, Windle gets 1, Bushel gets 1, and Buckwheat gets 1. Yes, I totally did pause after the end of each influence allocation to actually count the dots so that we didn't have to worry about it.
No, that's handy. I totally would have just probably let the viewer figure that out for themselves.
I care about you viewers, so...
Oh, well, that makes one of us.
It's that Midwestern hospitality.
No, I'm kidding. I
right?
love you all. Man, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing just getting the push with the unmasking and then waiting into the middle where you're able to catch Grange and Bushel in there also once the others are pushed. And of course you're losing Fangtooth at that point if you do that, rather than like doing his whole activation then walking away. But man, that'd be sweet. Let's see if...
Right now what he's measuring is to see if he can have Wendell go out of and still be within the 3 inches for the unmask.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Okay. I wonder... Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's gonna go for the safe route.
Yeah. He did get all 4
Yeah.
on his first attack. He had 4 dice going into 2s. He got them all.
Yeah.
So then his second attack, he bonus time. Because, of course you do.
Yeah. Oh, you might be a little bit ahead of me. They're still talking about the
Oh no,
damage.
they're still talking about the damage between Windle and
Okay.
Fanger.
Yeah. Here's the
Yeah.
here's the bonus timed attack.
Yes. And now he's rolling.
Yeah. It's like doing this and being able to retreat to safety is certainly the smart move, but man, would it be tempting to just get in there and set up that 5 model unmasking.
That's it's an argument that I've been having for a while with the bear. The mauling should be on 4.
No, it used to be on 4. It was bad.
No, it was not on 4. It's it should be on 4 because your choice right now with it being on 5 is you either do 3 damage to maybe a bunch of people, or you do 5 damage to one person. But the only time you really want to use the mauling, is when you're surrounded by a bunch of other models, which means the only time you're using it is when you charge, because otherwise you're not going to hit it on 5 rolling 7 dice. So your influence
It was on
efficiency is
4 and
horrible.
4.0 and it was way too much.
See, it was too much, I think, because you were also putting bleed out on literally the world. Now that the bleed
I
is
forgot.
gone, I think that putting it on 4, this is my hill. I'm gonna die on it. I'm okay with that.
I don't know. That feels like there's a lot of buffing to keep up with the other buffs that's been going on in Guild Ball when I would really love to see the game get some pretty widespread nerfs.
And that's fair.
And that I think is kind of one of those things where yes, of easy like available AoE damage has gone up and Cena might feel like she's been left behind, but I think she's fine.
Oh, I don't know. I'd be willing to trade something off for it.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. Put the knock on 3 and the mauling on 4. I'd be fine with that because I'm really not taking the knockdown outside of
So
parting blows and stuff.
well, so I think the other thing about the mauling is its strength as a counterattack, just being her only 2-inch push.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like Vetcat should not have a double push as low as he does. That's just some nonsense. But anyway, back to this
Yes.
game.
So
He hit the unmasking on all 3
he did
attacks.
hit the masking on all 3 attacks. However, they did miss math on Windle. Wendell should be at 10 health. He's at 14. He was at 22, and they hit 3 unmaskings for each. So,
Yeah, those things can be easy to
oh yeah,
miss.
no, it's. I'm not faulting
I wonder
either
how
of
much
them.
that'll come
There
into
were-
play. No, I am. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Bots, Jacob, please find a corner, start crying.
We'll deliver your dunce cap shortly.
But yeah, when you're doing that many control minuses, it makes sense if you miss one every now and
Yeah, easily.
then. So he's debating right now on where he wants to jog Fang to.
Yeah, being able to. That's a really good place for bots to have Windle. If he uses Bushel to reposition Windle back into the fight, then Minx can pretty trivially just go score a goal.
Absolutely.
And yeah, well, hell, if Windle was on 10 health, well, no. If Minx had 4 influence, I'd say a 10 health Windle with the ball. That's a pretty easy 6-point activation for her. But not with 3.
I don't know. I mean, would she, even with 4, she'd have effectively 3 attacks. What does she cap out at? I thought she capped out at 3.
Oh, no, 4 on the playbook.
Oh, yeah. Shows how often I
Yeah.
play against Union.
But you,
Effectively, after the first
yeah, so
attack,
you would,
she'd be rolling. Yeah, she'd be rolling 6 dice after the first attack. So
right, so you bonus time the first one. If you wrap, he dies,
oh
I
yeah,
think. You bonus time. That is the tricky bit, though, about needing the tackle on one of them, because her tackle's on
2.
2, so you've got to hope that she wraps to the 2 on her second one to take the tackle,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you kill him. But anyway, I don't think he's actually going to end up with the ball, so this is all theoretical.
Oh, we'll find out.
What's this, Grange going into greed?
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a scary prospect, because then Rage has a perfect lane there to charge in between Grange and Greed and be relatively safe from being pushed out on counters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Grange still has a pretty accessible double push, which could get him out, but sometimes just positioning yourself so that a single push has to be at an angle is pretty great. I've got to stop closing GB Manager. I've got to keep looking at farmers' playbooks.
Well, then I guess Grange has got a double push, but it's not till 4.
Oh, it's wow. Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah. Oh, also shout out GV Manager. Thank you, Ben Long. Also, thank you, Ben Long, for selling me a veteran Hearn at second wind. So now I have a veteran Hearn that doesn't take up 90% of the pitch. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Grange's double push isn't that high. It is that high.
It just feels like it should be lower.
Yeah. It feels painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot about Grange does.
Yeah, he literally is a one man carrying two-person saws on his back, like he straight don't care. It's delicious.
That's a Yahtzee right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice that in my first listen through.
Hell yeah.
There you go. There you go. See, you got this. You know what you're doing. I'm just here to look pretty.
That's my greatest skill. It's looking for Yahtzee patterns in other games.
In anything not Yahtzee. Let's find Yahtzee.
It's a very niche skill. Oh yeah, so they messed up with the double push. That's true. Without bonus timing, Grange can't hit the 4 against a 2 armor model.
Yeah. Yeah, which was smart. He was trying to. It looked really like he was trying to block that range lane that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, she's just going to make the 2 results 2 momentous pushes.
Yeah. Well, if you're really trying to block the rage charge, then you would be pushing him the other way.
In the other direction.
Yeah. Just get him right in between there. Oof. That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that just looks like an overextended Grange.
Yeah. I don't like that Vassal has ones as skulls. It makes me sad. It reminds me that I'm about to die because I made bad choices.
Just because it hurts that much more when they're rolled.
Yeah. However, Grange is now the farthest forward. He's Voyager 2. He is the farthest from home that any of them have ever been.
Look, he's in the opponent's half of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, he's tickling it right now, but he's there.
What a brave boy. Oh, they're figuring out Vassal controls.
He decided to, he didn't heal. Who did he not heal? Who was he just talking? Oh, Window before he moved up. But.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you said he healed Windle before he moved up? How do you have enough?
He didn't heal Window before he moved up. That's what he was talking about.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have enough momentum to before he moved up.
Yeah.
So let's see. With Grange untouched, he just healed. Did he just heal
He
Plowman?
did. Yes.
Okay. From where I'm sitting relative to my laptop, it's hard to see the numbers.
Oh,
Just have room
Plowman's
for the
at
microphone.
he should
12.
yeah, he's showing 12.
Okay.
I feel like I want to rewatch that though because I remember him being at 9.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So V grade clears conditions. Oh, Alex.
Yeah, this
Anyway,
feels like you've got to knock down Greed because you don't necessarily want to go in with Rage immediately when you're not going to take him out.
yeah,
But you've got to knock him down so that Bushel can't dodge him out to safety.
he does the double push. Boom. What do you got now, Zach?
I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I'm a fool.
That's all good.
Yeah. No, it makes sense to go for Plowman, try to kill the model that hasn't activated yet.
Yeah.
But my mind usually goes towards killing the captain.
So he charged him.
Let's see, down. Yeah. Okay, so he stayed within 2 of Grange.
No, he's outside of 2 of Grange. So he's not suffering.
Well, he said 5
crowd.
down to 3. Plus. There must have been some crowd out there.
No, he bonus timed. I don't know where he said 5 down to 3.
I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, because he bonus timed up to 13 dice.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Maybe he was saying he would be 5 down to 3 if he stayed in Grange. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still in the Constitution aura. So he was really hoping to get him pushed out of that while still being within greed.
Yeah.
If he would have had greed go further forward, he would have been able to.
Yeah.
And I mean, spoiler alert, he'll pay for that. But
Yeah, Plowman's not gonna die here.
this is it by
Greed.
1
I'm.
or 2.
Greed's personal output always disappoints me.
Well, it feels like it should be more, but that's because Lance is a thing.
Yeah. His momentum spread really just makes me sad. Like, none of the results I want to be momentous are. But the rest of the team is so good that he needs to have a weakness. So I'm totally okay with that.
Watch me not complain. Yeah.
So let's see, Plowman is on. Is that a 1 or a 3?
That is a 1. Yeah. One more push.
Yeah, that's a.
So there's something that I've noticed from certain high level players, like
Yeah.
like Bots and Kirchhoff and just different players that play at a high level. The way that they say "okay" when you tell them what you're going to do,
Yeah.
they say it in just such a way where they're acknowledging that, yeah, okay, that's what you're doing, while at the same time sounding just surprised enough to make you feel like you made a bad choice.
A little bit of psychological warfare.
So bad. It legitimately is one of those where it. Okay, so I'm gonna attack V Greed. Okay, I'm gonna take the momentous push. Okay. Like, I know I made the right choice. Why do you make me feel like I didn't?
I don't know. I've never thought about that
Go
before.
pick it up now. Certain high level players, every single time I watch them do anything, it's okay, sure. Why not? Why not? Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I think some of that's also just kind of like resignation. Like, okay, yeah, Plowman's going to attack me. I'm going to declare the counter, but you've got the push on one, so even if you whiff the knockdown, you just push me out. Like the next couple activations are or couple actions, I should say, are just kind of like predetermined, and we're just gonna do it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Just it pains me.
So again, it's hard for me to really judge ranges on here. I wonder if Windle is in range of getting to Greed. Because if not, I'd almost want to like pass the ball to Buckwheat and dodge Buckwheat around to ass kicking Greed forward.
Uh, he just
We'll
popped.
see what
He just
happens.
popped his aura and then dropped it right away. Wendell is within range if he eats the hardest part.
Okay. Yeah. And presumably if Bushel moves out of the way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Bushel, I like you, but you got to move that ass. And there's our PG-13 rating right there.
Well, I make no efforts to keep this channel family friendly.
He's playing farmers. We have to keep it for the family. Like, that's on a card.
Boo.
I know, dad jokes for days.
Boo this man.
4 kids, Zach. 4 kids.
Who'd he just declare the charge on?
Stand by.
Plowman?
Minx goes, and she charges Plowman. And he defends
Yeah.
and counters back.
Yeah, I heard the defensive counter. Let's see. How likely is she to kill Windle if she were to charge him? Where's Windle's double push, I guess is the question. It's on 3, that's somewhat risky.
I mean, it's math. It's just below 50% odds, right?
Yeah, that's still potentially too risky.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, no, I don't think she kills Windle.
Mm-hmm.
Because she probably wraps to the 2. And then, yeah.
Yeah. Problem with
Doesn't.
not non-character play damage into Wendell is the lack of momentum.
Yeah.
If you're looking at bonus timing, you have to go in with a fat stack like P. Diddy at the club, or you are not.
Yeah. you need that pool to draw from.
Yeah.
Let's see, so the counter got, what, 2 successes?
Counter 1 result.
Oh no, only 1
It
success.
took a 1-inch push.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just lose another die.
Yeah, basically.
So now you're on 3 dice against a 3-1. Pretty safe. Oh, 2-1, that's true, the snare.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
4 dice, is Plowman not in cover?
Plowman is in cover.
Oh, you've got the turtle aura,
Yep.
duh.
That's one thing that's nice with like Egret, being able to do
Mm-hmm.
I shot you with flurry and it's the end of my turn, so I'm just gonna do 6 inches of dodge right away.
It's infuriating.
If you can hit it. You gotta hit it first.
Yes. But I'm usually running a Colossus, so she's always got something she can hit.
Oh, Colossus.
With the 2-die play.
Yeah. Oh, Colossus. Thank you. Thank you for all the momentum you've generated for me over my existence.
He's worth it.
He does work. And that's the thing, too, especially on like a Rivet team. If you can get the elbow grease on him, like people who haven't played into him as a fighter will be surprised at how much work he can do.
Yeah, I think a lot of that surprise has kind of died off by now, but yes, for sure. Although I rarely end up giving him elbow grease after turn 1. Most of the time, Rivet is just better off making that extra attack herself.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make generalizations with a Rivet team. Oh yeah, I did forget that Buckwheat gets to make a free jog if he eats the harvest marker. He doesn't even need to get past the ball. Go kick some ass, Buckwheat. You deserve it.
Look at you, you
Hell
little
yeah.
donkey.
Buckwheat's such a cool mascot.
Yeah. Yeah. When you don't have a surprise 14-inch goal run out of him. One of our locals, Zach,
great.
tried to do that to me in a Scapa team, and it made things very interesting.
It's great. It's awesome.
He's-
I love Buckwheat.
Yeah. It's nice to see that that Jacob took Buckwheat when almost everybody takes Peck nowadays.
Peck is really good.
Oh, totally. He's we call him Clucker Spaniel. But it's nice to see Buckwheat actually get playtime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just send him further into the pit.
Yeah. And see, taking out a player like V Greed, granted, forward minions cost 2 influence to give himself another 2 inches, but taking out a player like that, that's a 4/6,
Mm-hmm.
is the reason why a player like VCat drives me nuts. And I know that there's a lot of hate about VCat and people like to complain about him. I get all that. But the biggest problem that I have is once I actually kill him, as a 6/8, he comes right back. Like he's right
And
back.
a 50mm base, which gets him even further onto the
He's
pitch.
an extra inch coming back onto the pitch. I mean, V Greed has to spend 2 influence to make himself a 6/8. And then, so he has to spend 3 influence to be able to sprint 8 inches, unless he double activates himself. VCat's just like,
which is always an option.
I'm
He's
back.
pretty often a target for the double activation for me in later turns.
Yeah, especially if you can charge, kill somebody, and know that you're going to set up another charge. That's huge. That's huge.
Or even just to threaten, or threaten's maybe the wrong word, but save your range push things for later in the turn, freeing up other models, moving them around.
The persuasion?
Persuasion, yeah. Okay, I thought that was what it was called, but I wasn't sure. Let's see, I guess he must be debating standing the captain up or healing him or something, but with the last 2 momentum, that feels bad.
Grace hasn't activated yet.
Right. I'm just assuming that's what he's sitting here debating, because Fangtooth has no influence. Yeah.
Jacob brings up a really good point here.
Yeah. Since gliding isn't an action, you can do it at any point during the movement.
Yep.
It's rough. That's one of those like such corner case rules.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up very infrequently. It's a good one to know for when it does, though.
Yeah, and that's one of those like rules questions where you would ask Alex, but then you would still ask Owen afterwards. Like that's season 4.2, right? Ask Alex and then ask Owen.
Well, it's you just say Ebb takes two and Berserk or intensify triggers Berserk.
Trademark Owen.
Yep. All right. Yeah. If Wendell ever gets to jog to you, you're in trouble.
Well, but Windows should be at 10
Four
health.
hits on greed. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendell wraps. Those hurt. Snack break is such a good play. When it's combined with damage. Scourge is sad.
Yeah, Troy has a Hunter's lineup that he calls Heal Team 6. Or
Yeah.
a Farmer's lineup that he calls Heal Team 6. And it's all about just constantly maintaining health. And it is so annoying. It is so annoying to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough stuff out in the game right now that can just one round things.
Mm-hmm. But if you miss it, and that's the problem.
But if you miss
If you
it,
miss it, like Wendell, I had Wendell on 2 health playing into him once. At the beginning, after my first activation of turn 2. By the end of turn 2, he had Wendell back to full health.
well, yeah, because I mean, just in one turn you can heal him, what, 18 in a festival team?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It was
It's a lot of healing.
super annoying.
It's an excessive amount of healing, one might say.
Almost too much.
Alright, there's another 4 damage on greed.
Yep. And on the Berserk, he gets it.
Think you probably bonus time this one. Yep.
There you go,
Because
Jacob.
you really want to see that wrap to just take him out.
And he does.
There it is. Oh, he does have the 5 at the top of his playbook. Okay. I don't know Farmer's playbook super well. Other than they all have like 2 on 1.
Yeah. 2 on 1 and 2 in drawers for days.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that looks like another gang up on Grange.
Yeah, the only non-mascot model that does not have 2 on 1 is Bushel.
Yeah, and Shearer.
Oh,
He is a farmer now.
yep, fair enough. I don't count him because he's lame. out of the
He's a little bit lame.
out of the people in my meta, I'm like the only person who actually follows soccer, like international soccer.
I don't understand what follows what.
International soccer. Like I follow English.
No, I still don't understand.
It's called football. So when Shearer came out and one of the guys in our group was like, "That's a really stupid pose." I was like, "That's his pose." Like, whose pose? Alan Shearer. Who Who's Alan Shearer?
It's a thing.
Google it. Like, afterwards it made sense. But
Yeah, I remember Googling it when they first announced him.
so,
Because I did not get it.
so my locals are in good company. Understood.
Yeah. Is he passing to Grange? Is he trying to get Grange out of there?
Yes, he's gonna pass the ball off to Green.
Mm-hmm. 5 dice needing a 6. It's a thing. Could be a thing. Is he gonna go for it?
They're gonna consult Longshanks. And he did eat a harvest marker.
Do you have that up right now?
Yeah, no, they do. He pulls it
Okay,
out.
I've got a dice calculator right here. Let's see, 5 dice needing a 6. 59.81%. That's not
a
bad.
little over half.
It's not great.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. But yeah, I think the risk reward here balances out. Giving up the ball isn't necessarily catastrophic here. And if you make that, aww.
Tough.
Yeah, because if I don't know. I think I would have gone for it.
He did eat a harvest marker, by the way. She did.
Yeah. Which, I mean, does Bushel have another play besides I'm open?
Nope.
Okay.
I just bring it up because it will matter.
Yeah, depends where it scatters to.
Mm-hmm. That's where it scatters to.
Yeah. So there, I mean, does that hit the obstruction? Because if that hits the obstruction...
It hits Plowman.
Oh, it does hit Plowman, yeah. Yeah, and he still has an influence left on her, so he can always I'm open and then try again.
Nope. That was the only influence.
No?
He hasn't deducted it yet.
Oh, he just hasn't removed it yet. Okay. Yeah. Alright, well. That's something. Alright, so Grange dies to rage then.
Yeah. And Alex was commenting in there that he did not agree with doing that pass. And he goes through an explanation as to why. If you'd like to find out
just
yourself,
too risky.
Viewers, you can check out Alex's stream later.
What was the summation just too risky? I was talking and over him. I didn't really hear.
No, that's fine. Yeah, basically it was the reward of getting him out of there is not as good because Rage would still be able to go into Buckwheat to be able to get momentum.
He does get momentum, but I don't know. I don't know that he has anyone that then one rounds Grange the next turn. In that situation, if Grange gets out of all the gang ups. So that still feels pretty okay to me.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I disagree. I think the reward there is worth it.
Alright. I don't play Union. I play Indian. So
Well, I mean, you don't need... Just looking at it, you figure if Grange dodges away, none of them can do 22 damage without any gang ups, and especially where they'll probably be eating a crowd out. That's the word.
yeah.
And wherever he goes, they're not really going to threaten a goal either.
Mm-hmm.
Minx maybe could, but it's still, I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it's certainly risky. It's definitely a risky move, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah.
Because I think now Grange just dies. Oh, he declared the counter? Why would he even declare the counter with
Defensive
3 crowd
and
outs?
countered.
Yeah. But with 3 crowd outs, I mean, if you bonus time, you can hit the double push, but even then, that's
But you have to bonus time
yeah,
just to be
right
possible.
to even have a chance at hitting
Yeah.
it.
And you're going against a 4-0. Math is you'll miss half.
Yeah, that just feels like you're giving up such a huge amount of your momentum lead to do it. Because there, I mean, yeah, sure, he knows he's got some high cards in his hand, but it's a lot of momentum spent.
Yeah, he's spent what 3 momentum in the
Yeah.
last 2 activations with no effect coming from any of it. Well, no, I take it back. Grange's
I think
defense,
the death stance was
death
probably
stance, yeah,
good.
death stance.
Yeah. But the counter feels a little bad. Alright, so what does that leave
Grange will be on 11.
Grange on at the end of that? On 11. Yeah, so that is very easily doable. In this situation, probably by Minx. Although, with that many gang ups, you can afford to have Fangtooth walk over and eat a crowd out and still probably get some sick unmaskings off if you can get out of too many of your own people.
So yeah,
Always be on the lookout for sick unmaskings.
yeah. I
It would be pretty tricky to get out of your own people. Oh, what just happened? Oh, my video hiccuped, but it's back.
welcome home.
Although I guess this is, if Jacob decides to go for it, this will be a roll off. I don't know if Jacob does. Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to play the 7 and go for it here. Going second is bad in this situation. And let's see what happens. So we've got play to the crowd from Alex. And Jacob must still be considering.
Alex makes a good point here too.
Which one?
Don't say things like "I have to do this" because it kind of telegraphs what you're going to do.
Yeah. That's pretty lucky there.
Yeah, if you're relying on dice, that sucks.
No, yeah, I mean that's forcing the roll off is the best case scenario there, but it's still always a little butt clenching.
That one made my butt cheeks pucker. So Alex does something here. He starts measuring stuff out.
Yeah.
But what he ends up ultimately doing is taking in Minx, and that was something in my initial walkthrough that I was very surprised at how much she did, how much she's able to do.
Oh yeah, Minx is a monster. Minx is like one of the most problematic models in the game right now.
And yeah, it was just watching what he was doing made me like it was one of those like boggles the minds moment where I hear everyone talk about how crazy she is, and until you actually see somebody play her the way she's meant to be played, it's just crazy.
Did that +1 attack go
Minx.
on Minx or Rage?
On Minx.
Okay. Yeah, starting with Minx to kill Grange is definitely the safe choice. But man, just the possibility of all those sick unmaskings. Like putting that +1 tack on Fangtooth
Yeah.
would be pretty nice. But yeah, definitely more risk.
Yeah.
And these are both two players that, despite Jacob's pass attempt there, tend to do everything they can to minimize risk. Which, in general, is the smart
Yeah.
move.
It feels like he really had to do that pass there. As like I understand Alex's description as why he thought it wasn't as good of an idea, but I completely understand why he did it.
Yeah.
Um,
So if you got our influence
yeah,
counts, it looks like 3 on Fangtooth, 4 on Minx, 1 on Rage, and the rest on
yeah,
Greed.
5 on greed.
Yeah.
Farmers burn 3 of their harvest markers. Tater gets 2. Windle gets 2. Plowman gets 2. Buckwheat gets 3, and Bushel gets 1. Buckwheat getting 3 was the one that surprised me the most. I understand that he's like your only model that may be able, like, is a close to high health that's not named Bushel.
Yeah, and is a low priority for him to try to kill.
Yes, the as a hunter's player, like so much of your game is influence efficiency, and
Mm-hmm.
my concern with putting 3 on Buckwheat is now you just made him a target.
Yeah.
That's the scary part with that for me.
Which, to be fair, though, putting 3 influence on your mascot to make him a target, making me think of shepherds being able to hand out protective
Oh
instinct.
yeah,
In some ways, is almost like that, where if I can force you to attack my mascot instead of someone potentially more valuable, that can be worth 3 influence.
which, however, that being the case, Bushel needs more than one.
Oh, did he only give Bushel
Bushel
1?
ends up with 1 influence.
Yeah, that feels bad.
The other scary part is that now, with you, like I had mentioned earlier, with Plowman being that high up, you have 2 players that can drop harvest markers, and they're probably both going to die.
Yeah, they're both in the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, like, getting
Well,
that pass from
Minx.
Bushel to Grange to try to get him out of there, that
Mm-hmm.
even more so a reason to try that. So,
Yeah.
Jacob, Alex might have disagreed with you, but we got your back.
Let's see. I think Minx can pretty reasonably kill both of them this activation. Like that does not feel unreasonable with 3 gang
Yeah.
ups. Yeah, easily. Now hitting a 2-0. Unfortunately, she can't dodge through that gap.
No.
So she's going to have to take an advance to get over to Plowman, but then she can always just dodge back towards Greed for some measure of safety.
Well, so she only spent 2 influence to kill him, and she hasn't
Right.
moved. Which I thought,
Well, that's what I'm saying. She'll have to spend her jog to get over to Plowman.
yeah.
Because let's see, Plowman's got 3 health? 2. Okay. Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah, that's... Oh, and Plowman's still snared. Yeah. Yeah, turns out Minx is good.
Yeah. This, like I said, this turn is where I was like dumbfounded at what she was capable of.
Her 3 damage is just too accessible. I think my changes to Minx would be to move the 3 damage up a column and maybe move the 1 damage. Maybe take the dodge off her 1 damage on 1. I don't know. It's she just does so much, and she's impossible to invalidate influence on. Oh, is he just forgetting the +1 tack from the game plan on those last two attacks?
He did
He did
on
on
Plowman. He
Plowman.
did not against Buckwheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bonus timed it up.
Not that it mattered.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I could have saved a momentum, but whoopee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6-2. Not impossible to play down from, but your ball carrier is now threatened. And
you have no planters.
Right, you've got no planters, and recovering from this position is going to require goals at some point.
And the reason he didn't go with Fangtooth, we were talking while he was discussing it to the chat stream. But the reason he didn't go with Fangtooth was because there was no position that he could get into to be able to attack both Windle and Bushel with Fangtooth Unleashed and not hit both Rage and Grace without going into the charge from Tater.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's one of those things I would have had to measure myself. Because sick unmaskings are always the goal. Especially against Windle.
Give me my maulings.
Yeah, Jacob's really in kind of a pickle here. Where is all of his influence?
Buckwheat. He legitimately put 4 of his influence between Plowman and Grange.
Yeah.
And then he died.
It's rough. Yeah. It's rough for influence on this team is with 3 Reapers is all of it.
Yeah, the only model that can effectively, I don't know, the only other thing that I could think of doing now, like literally right now, would be for Bushel to run up towards Buckwheat and basically get herself into a position where she's engaging Rage and engaging Grace, pass the ball to Buckwheat, give him a 4-inch dodge, and then heal him. Just for an attempt at a goal run. If she's engaging Rage...
Well, you don't have the momentum to heal him.
If you get the pass... Oh, no, yeah, because he has to bounce. Because he has to use it. Never mind.
Right.
I take it all back.
And even if you... even if you engage Rage, I mean, he'll take a parting blow from Bushel any day of the week. Like, yeah, it's inefficient, but if it means walking over and just knocking down Buckwheat or something, and you've got Greed over there who can potentially do that as well.
Oh, well, yeah. Between forward minions and then trying to do a persuasion onto Buckwheat to try to bring him closer, you would be able to do it with Greed. That was my goal mind thinking. How can I just get points at this point?
Yeah, I don't think it's really possible to get that ball safe upfield, or I mean, get it safe, sure, but to get a scoring model safe, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, playing the geometry game with Windle and trying to just not be engaged by any of them while engaging all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things that those nifty little auras certainly make easier.
Yeah, other people's measures.
And this is where Greed... This is where Greed is great, to just casually disengage Rage, so that Rage can charge later. Assuming Rage doesn't die, but he's attacking Grace first, so Rage is safe.
The only other thing that I was thinking of during this was Wendell. Wendell buys all of his attacks into Grace, and I understand that he was going for the takeout. The problem is that what I think I would have liked to have seen is buy an attack in a Fangtooth, at least one, to try to push him into Tater's range. Or would you disagree?
The issue, I mean, you don't want to be attacking a model with resilience with a model that has Berserk.
No, but buy an attack into Grace.
Is the issue.
And then use your Berserk attack into Fangtooth, buy an attack into Grace, and then push Fangtooth towards Tater.
Then Fangtooth just activates next and does his thing and either moves out to safety or goes into Tater, and I don't think you've really necessarily achieved that much. Because he could always just walk back to where he was, and sure, you're then denying unmaskings, but he can still just hit pretty high single target damage against Wendell.
Alright.
So I think going for the takeout on one model is the way to go, even if it is low odds.
Alright, fair enough.
Let's see, what did he leave Grace on?
Grace is on 4.
Health-wise? Grace is on 4, and Grace has 14 health to start with. So 3 less than Rage. Wendell would have gotten 4 more total hits against Rage than he would have on Grace. Which probably would have been enough to kill Rage.
But in order to reach... Oh, no, because he was engaging Rage, yeah.
Yeah, he said he was engaging him. I don't know, either way, it seems like attacking Rage would have been the more high-value target.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. The unmasking here is another way of disengaging Rage from Wendell. Because that push is not just enemies.
Yeah. And the damage.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
But this certainly feels worth it.
Is dead. Oh, for sure.
Buckwheat has Stoic? Shows how often I see Buckwheat.
I told you.
I honestly thought Colossus and Hammer were the only 2 models that had Stoic. Back in the day, Locust had Stoic. But for whatever reason, Locust needed to be nerfed. Because he was so good.
Legitimately, the only thing scary about Locust is trying to walk away from Locust.
But why would you ever do that?
But that is the only thing that is scary about him.
This is not the forum for me to complain about Locust.
So Fangtooth ended up hitting it second time, getting rid of Donkey.
Yeah, and wrapped to the knockdown. So let's see, Bushel's got, 4 health? Yeah. Okay, so can't kill Bushel off this.
Can. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He
Yep.
unleashed. Oy,
Hmm.
that is that is 7 points in 2 activations.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And now
It's pretty
you
good.
have 3 influence left on the board, or 2 influence left on the board. Um,
And you've got a free ball.
and all you can do is charge with Tater.
Yeah, let's see where this scatter goes. Because if this goes somewhere where Tater can't retrieve it and punt it out to safety, then could potentially even see a rage goal. Oh, let's see that rage goal.
This Bots is from Chicago. You think he's thinking about goals?
Well, yeah, Chicago always scores 1 goal every game to end the game.
He's playing Union. He has a fully loaded Greed and a fully loaded Rage with 3 activations left, with a total of
Look,
17 hit points left to take out.
I have played a lot of Union games where my only goal has been Fangtooth at the end. In a Greed team, he's fast enough. He gets
Yeah,
there.
that's almost insulting.
He trundles up and just dunks in a bonus time tap in. It's great. I in 4.0 I was playing a game against Mike Klein and he was just styling on me so bad that he delayed winning until the next turn so that he was able to win with a bear goal.
Ah, I've wanted a bear goal so bad. I what I The dream for me is getting the bear goal off of a snapshot from Scatha's snowball. Yep. I would.
Snowball's a cool
It
play.
is. It's the reason why my local players who don't play against Scatha often are surprised every time they play against Scatha when I play her.
Yeah, she does neat shit.
Yeah. So yeah, Tater goes in for the charge here.
Yeah, I guess just to pop resilience. Because resilience hasn't been popped yet, has it?
Um,
He's taking results, so it must have. I don't remember when that happened.
yeah, he put a resilience popped up. Yes, Fangtooth from the
Windle must have
counterattack. From the
counterattacked?
counterattack.
Yeah,
From
I
Windle.
missed that.
Yep.
Makes sense. So, I mean, I guess that just did damage to Windle as well.
Yep.
Yes, I mean, this seems pretty simple to just charge Rage in and... Oh yeah, God, I even forgot that Greed was still there. I was just gonna say Rage can kill both of them over this activation and then top of the next turn.
Um,
But Greed can certainly, just help.
I here's one thing that I wish that he'd have done is give me 10 inches from where he was. 4 and then 8.
Why 10
Okay,
inches?
no, he was just out. Okay. Because
Are you thinking just the charge on Windle? Because I think the obstruction was in his
no,
way.
because you do first activation, jog around it or jog over it.
Yeah.
Second activation,
Yeah.
do a persuasion, and then charge into him. But he did measure it out. He needed to forward minions because the persuasion
Okay.
wasn't close enough to actually do it.
Gotcha.
14 die charge.
Yeah, now Rage has the extra die from the Turtle Aura when he goes into Tater. That's
A momentous 10.
yeah, triple wrap or double wrap, I should say,
Yeah.
is pretty good. And then does he have an influence left to try to bring Tater into the gang ups? Looks like he does.
He has one left, yeah. But he does it
Okay.
the other way, yeah. It's the odds play.
Yeah, the guaranteed one gang up versus the chance at two gang
Yeah.
ups.
Especially when you're rolling with Rage, who's going to have a million dice.
Yeah. Tater does not have a double push, so kind of a useless counter. But I guess at this point, you just throw everything you can.
Yeah.
Since this is the last of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one's all you need. When you've got 6 momentum to 0.
And you literally need a point.
Yeah. Yeah. Bonus time them all. At this point, when you're just looking to close out the game, always the move.
Mm-hmm.
Rage being able to tool himself up with a heroic was such a huge change.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have any Union players, like I said, that back in Season 2. But after the fact, looking at the cards after the fact and realizing what changes there were for the teams that we didn't see, it's...
Yeah. Union in Season 2 was fun. It was all Blackheart with Commanding Aura.
Oh, that's right. He did have Commanding Aura, didn't he?
He did. I'd go with Blackheart. I'd just walk up, put up Commanding Aura, and then Decimate and Gutter would come in and end things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the game. It ended 12-2. Or
13-4.
12-4. 12-4. Yeah. In favor of Union. But yeah, that was rough. Greed is pretty gross. It's such a double-edged sword because I feel like in order to really get any output, the farmers have to take Windle, but they also really don't want to have to take Windle.
If you want to have that player that threatens damage, you have to take him. I've seen people take straight footballing farmers, and it works. The positioning is so important, and not forgetting harvest markers is so important.
Absolutely. But, I mean, defending the ball is Union's biggest weakness, for sure. It's playing... If you got to choose the kick-receive as the farmer's player, maybe going for the festival kickoff. But even then you have to play into Rage. Yeah, well... It was a fun game to watch. I'm glad that we're seeing more games put out there. I know Bots put one up either today or yesterday, today being Tuesday the 17th, of another game on Twitch. I don't know if Nate's put that up on YouTube yet, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Maybe we'll do some more commentary.
As long as you invite me back, I'll come back out.
Yeah, man, you're welcome anytime. Again, as long as the viewers actually enjoyed this.
Fingers crossed.
Great. All right, man. Thanks for doing this. This was
Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
Anytime I can be a part of content, I appreciate it, because I love content from other people too.
Yeah, it's always fun to get to contribute.
Awesome. Well, hey.
All right, viewers.
Thank you very much, Zach.
Thank you all for joining us and sitting through this, and we'll see you in the next one.